Hello and welcome, devout free thinkers. You're here with us on KEXP 106.5. I'm Chaplain Hart.
And I'm Nicole Veneer. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Chaplain. How are you doing today?
To be honest, sister, I'm a little mad.
Mad? That sounds a little strong coming from you.
Well, have you seen the protests? I would say it's reasonable.
You are all fired up today.
I think it's very distasteful, especially with so many children present.
Oh, you mean you disagree with the parents taking their children with them at the protest?
Oh no, I think young people should express their political beliefs. No, I disagree with their stance. Changing the baptism erases a lot of our tradition and culture.
I understand. But times are changing, and I think we should hear everyone on this subject.
Yes, I'm willing to hear opinions, but as a private citizen, I disagree with this circus.
I have to say, Chaplain, I am sure our listeners have their opinion on the matter too. Well, actually, since Marvin isn't available today for his segment, well, why don't we just take calls and see what comes out?
Oh, why not? Sounds good. Oh, hold on. My producer... Okay, perfect. We're set up to do so in the second half of our show.
Oh my god, I'm so excited!
Big thanks to our producer, Hema.
Thanks to Miss I'm on air, and our call monitor, of course, Mr. Now.
Yes, listeners, we can't forget our friend Colin.
Well, in the meantime, I think we should explain to our listeners that may not be aware of what is happening, or might be in an area where it's not an issue.
Oh, yes. I forgot this isn't getting much coverage. Well, I guess you might be hearing this breaking news firsthand, freethinkers.
Listeners, the protests have become particularly intense, and especially around the churches appointed for this year's baptism.
As families are traveling from all over the state for this special day, it's being ruined by disruptive mobs. I've heard they've been loud enough to drown out the officiators.
I see what you mean. This has to be pretty scary, not only for the newborn, but also the parents. And all the chantings and movements. It's a lot to face alone on this important day.
I've seen online on this Twitter that Marvin's been showing me that more than a few orators' blessings have been botched by a poorly timed chant.
Actually, Chaplain, why don't you just make an account?
I don't think I would have much to say on there myself.
Oh, it's all right, really. We could always make one for the show. And I think it'd be a fun and interesting way to interact with the audience. This is quite exciting.
What an interesting blessing.
Oh, speaking of blessings, if you look closely here, on my wrist, right here, France doesn't really cut the orator's blessings on our newborns.
Well, no, but we also don't resort to setting fire to our babies.
No, now you're just being extreme.
Gods, you all handle your baptisms so differently. Do you really baptize all of your demis?
Actually, their branding, if I remember correctly, is a little bit different from the rest of us. But yeah, why?
Oh, well, children of the gods, born of the spoken six. They can't really survive the blessing. I'm surprised yours can.
It's not that painful either, for the little ones, you know?
Well, neither is our anointing blades.
Oh, that's what
They're
they're called.
specifically crafted to be very efficient. They aren't just ornate. They're very good at what they do.
Well, now that you say that, they do look sharp and especially shaped for the process. It makes it easier for everyone, you know, to get it done quickly.
Well, I hadn't thought about that before, but that certainly does explain the curve. Though for what I've been seeing, people are protesting the dusting more than the cuts.
Oh, yes, that sounds a little much for a baby.
No, it's the prices. And sister, this is where I might see their point, but the prices for the packing ash has gotten, no pun intended, out of hand.
And you have to consider that they have to buy the ceremonial robe, the fee, the travel to, and lodging at the event. It adds up.
Well, as much as I agree, the donations and the sales of the packing ash are to compensate the churches for hosting this massive event. It's a big undertaking.
Yeah, I know, and as much as I get your point, Our Lady is expecting us to keep the future alive once we're married, you know?
Well, what would you do differently?
I suppose if they gave a budget for their churches, it would lower the overall cost for the parents. But I am just a radio co-host. My specialty isn't really politics.
Oh, my producer's gesturing, I think. Yes, I think I should let you know, freethinkers. This is just our opinion and conversation. This doesn't represent the studio, of course.
Oh, you're right, Chaplain. You know how passionate we can be, listeners. I think this is an appropriate time to have a commercial break.
And other such frog mating calls at sports and more.
Welcome back on the Emerald Echo here on KEXP 106.5.
Chaplain,
Let me guess, you're very excited to talk to today's guest?
well, that's not what I was about to say.
Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, listeners, we've got here Norman Roselass, a herald helping to make sure families make it to the baptism safe and sound.
Welcome, Norman. We have a couple questions for you today. First, how are you? And how long have you been a herald?
Hello. I'm quite well. Thanks for asking. I've heard you on the radio every day. It's great to finally talk to you.
Yes, a pleasure for us as well, Norman.
It's been 7 to 10 years now, but I like this position a lot. It allows me to meet families and do something to contribute. See, my mother was a herald herself. It's in the blood.
Wow, you have a lot of experience then. It's quite impressive.
Senior most in the district for 5 years.
Say, what's the cutoff between the years to attend the ceremony? Like, do they take children born a day ahead or on the day?
Oh, actually, I have heard that the limit is exactly a month before the ceremony. It is supposed, I think, to allow the parents to organize themselves, and the newborn would be too young to attend.
Precisely. I see you did your research.
That's gotta make your job a little easier, not having to deal with the brand new kiddos. Oh, speaking of, what is your procedure for summoning families?
So, we do have a schedule, and it really changes from year to year. First, we receive a mailing list, comply from hospital and clinic records sent to us over the air. 2 or so months later, before the ceremony, we send out the Orator's message, a little audio clip on a phone thingy. It used to be CDs, and before that, floppies. It's probably why Our Lady incarnates, to keep up with the times, you know?
Not sure that's the reason, but continue.
Oh, well, then I guess not. Anyway, after that, I make sure to pay a visit to the homes of families with newborns in my jurisdiction. About a month or so before, and again on the day of, to make sure everyone's ready. If they don't have a ride, then we have Inquisition vehicles on standby to bring people right there. Of course, we've had more than a few people try and stay home, hurting their child's chance at a normal future. In those cases, we make sure to have the child brought to the local Second Chances foster home.
Oh, does that happen often?
We always get 1 or 2 every year in the district, but I haven't handled one in the last 3.
It really looks like you have everything under control. Now, how do you prepare yourselves for the ceremony in general?
Within the month prior to the baptism, all the heralds gather and send out the Orator's summon.
And am I right assuming the message is the same every year?
Not quite, but that's a very good question. You're so smart. It changes every couple incarnations as she sees fit.
How interesting. Would you be able to tell us what's on this one?
Oh, I have it here on my desktop. Want me to play it?
Actually, if you don't mind, our station producer will email you so that we can get it fully on air.
In the meantime, Norman, I think our listeners would be interested in hearing you talk about your experience of the ceremony itself. Do you have the children? Did you then patrol and attend?
Well, no one in my life just yet, but I'm open to possibilities, Nicole.
Hema, do you have the clip, please? Thank you. It's just, you know.
Greetings, proud new bearers of the future of America. I'm so proud of you for taking the next step into ensuring the future betterment of our nation. I know having a child is an exciting new adventure that brings many challenges. In order to ensure a bright future, we'd like to invite you to have your child baptized in our annual ceremony. Many of you might be concerned about the ritual and any discomfort your child may experience with this old and hallowed tradition. I assure you, it is worth the brief period of pain your brilliant offspring may feel but will never remember. Some disturbed and unholy people have made clear this year they do not wish to let their family grow naturally in the heart of our country. I am proud that you are making the right choice and that you will keep our traditions at heart. Bring the packing ash, robe, and a small donation to the church in thanks for performing the ceremony in your local area. You have placed your trust in me to lead this nation from its birth, and now I ask you to ensure your child does the same. This is for your good, your child's good, and the good of everyone in the world.
Powerful words. And a wonderful message from Our Lady.
Wow, such a message of peace and a warm, loving welcome for the new generation.
You had said previously that you deliver this message from around your jurisdiction, right?
That's right, the 24th of 60 in Capitol Hill.
That's a lot of families. How can you make sure everybody is planning on attending?
Well, there are. But there's only 3,000 or so parents and family in Capitol Hill total. So I only have to track 10 or so newborn families a year. I have plenty of time off, Nicole.
I wonder, what happens if you're, well, too ill to be there?
Well, some families I've seen make arrangements to have other close family take their place. But we hope that parents can just put the future of their child over their monetary illness.
Since relatively few people are affected by this problem, pretty much all of the families are going. With that in mind, what are your thoughts on the protests?
Well, personally, as long as they show up and get baptized, and these kids get to have a future, I really have no opinion either way. I trust the orator to know best.
I see.
I understand your point of view, Norman. I think it makes actually a lot of sense considering your position. Well, I want to say thank you so much for this interview. I do have one more question, if that's okay.
Oh, please do, Nicole.
As a herald, would you have a final message for the parents that will attend the baptism?
Well, I have a lot to say, you know. But the most important thing would be, don't be late.
Well, freethinkers, I think we can all agree with that.
Thank you once again, Norman, for calling us today and taking the time to talk to your audience.
No, please. It is my honor. Now, if you need anything, you can call back again. I'm a big fan.
Yes. And now, the Song of Prayer.
Familiar alleys and rocks on the ground. I stumble upon those things I have found. Strangers walk by and admire this town. But something they don't know is I let them all down. Why must I walk these empty, dark streets? All I see ahead just looks all so bleak. I'm scared of the people that I have to meet, because I'm afraid that they'll think that I'm weak. Don't come any closer, please just turn back. I don't want you breaking my city of glass. Don't know why you've left me, I want this to last. But all that you've left me with is my city of glass. These fragile glass walls, they cannot contain all of my feelings and all of my pain. These vacant glass rooms, the people have gone. I should have known better, I've known all along. All of those people all move away, and all of that makes me wish they would have stayed. I tried to go chase them, to ask them why, but they don't look back and leave me to cry. All of the pain that shadows my past reflects on the walls of my city of glass. Mysterious figures who've come from my past all try to destroy my fragile city of glass. Please come back, don't leave me behind. This darkness keeps lurking inside of my mind. I hate feeling empty, don't leave me alone. How can I call this prison my home? Can anyone hear me? I wanted to ask, why must you shatter my city of glass? I feel so alone now, you've all left so fast. I'll try to rebuild my fragile city of glass.
What a real estate novelist. Anyway, this ceremony, synonymous with purity and rebirth, has been tainted by the dark and evil plans of the woman that is supposed to lead us.
Yes, the Orator!
Yes, thank you. This greedy leader has corrupted what was once a symbol of our nation's will, to come together and bless the next generation with a brighter future.
What? I thought it was like a cutie mark or something!
What? No, why would it be? Wait, is that what you draw shit on your wrist?
Maybe.
She's the one corrupting everything. These blessings, they used to mean something to the people. Just because she's ruined them doesn't mean we don't need our symbol of freedom.
Freedom? Mutilation isn't an expression of freedom. This is what I was talking about. See? Where I come from, would it mean I'm free? You dipshit!
I told you.
Ownership! Dare I say it? Dare I? I'll say it. Slavery!
No, the opposite. Criminals, they lose their blessing because they done fucked up, and now they have to work for no money. That's slavery. Having your mark makes you better.
1. Do you think they're all criminals? Really? Is that really what you believe? And 2. Sounds like the marks are doing their job, 'cause you think it makes you different.
No, maybe for some, but not for those whose eyes have really opened.
Are they? Have you? Is it? When does? I've run out of words, but you know what I mean.
Oh, Shrike.
That's right. You're starting to see, huh? Starting to?
No. Shrike, Redback's here.
Arby! I wonder if she's got more juice box stories.
God damn it, Shrike.
Thank you, devout freethinkers, for staying with us here on Emerald Echo on KEXP 106.5.
Oh, freethinkers, I have been given a note during the break. The blessed send-off at the end of the ceremony will be pushed back an hour.
Oh, do you think it's due to the protests slowing everything down over there?
I can only guess. But, as mentioned earlier, listeners, Marvin is absent today. So we decided to replace his segment with
The Marvin Report, yes.
Something a little better today. We are just about to receive calls from all listeners, to talk about what is going on in our streets.
Yes, sister. During the magnificent song of prayer, our producers notified me that we're ready to get on with our first call.
Yes, let's. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
We're Leah and Ben from Redmond.
Big
fans.
Hi. I understand you called us about today's ceremony. Have you already been through?
Yes, in fact. We are right outside the main podium. It was really fast, but to be honest, I was not expecting that much blood.
It was fine.
It was really impressive.
So tell us, how was it?
Well, we didn't wait for that long. I was really expecting to spend the whole day here, but it was nice. We even saw our neighbors from down the street.
What a cute anecdote.
I think the people are right to be out. I'm not saying that we need to change everything, but something has to evolve with our times. My parents and my grandparents followed the same tradition. Nothing has changed at...
For a reason. You're thinking too much about this. I don't want our little girl to be ostracized just because we were not strong enough to handle the ceremony. We saved so much for this. Might as well keep a good memory.
And was this your first ceremony?
Yes, it was. But I can't say that I am ready to do this all over again. Are you, honey?
Oh, I'm just happy we and our baby girl are part of this beautiful ancestral tradition. I am ready to do this again.
Hi, ready to do this again. I'm Dad.
Babe. No.
Come on, that was funny.
Thank you so much for calling in to the Emerald Echo.
Well, thank you guys for calling us. And now the next call.
All right, you're on the Emerald Echo. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, I'm calling to see Plaindre about the Herald you just had on air.
Oh, well, we aren't taking questions, we're taking answers. We want to know what you think about these protests or the baptisms.
Wait, you speak French? In that case, pourquoi ne vous me donneriez-vous pas votre opinion, ou peut-être votre éclairage, au sujet des manifestations d'aujourd'hui?
Oh, oui. I think mot de passe. Good, thanks. And my name is...
Who?
My name...
What?
Well, it sounds like your connection's a bit shady there, caller. Which is a good thing, because I honestly have no clue what just happened. So I think we'll be moving on to our next call.
Go ahead. You're on the Emerald Echo.
Oh, hey. Hi, my name is Molly from Gig Harbor with my daughter Hazel. We're big fans. Hazel already loves the show.
Oh, I'm really happy to hear that. I think I can hear her through the phone. Is she with your husband right now?
It's just Hazel and me. But my parents have been a huge help. We just got back from the ceremony.
Oh. Oh, really? Did being a single parent cause any problems with the baptism? Does child support help pay for the robe or ash?
Oh, I'm not. I work and got everything on my own. I realized her father wasn't going to be good for her, so I chose to take it on myself.
Wow, that's really brave of you.
I held both her hands during the baptism. She was an absolute trooper when the Archbishop cut the order's blessing, and I mean, it's a bit sappy, but I'm gonna be there to hold her hands whenever she needs me.
Well, I can't imagine you'll be holding her hands forever. What happens when she joins the wrong crowd while you're not around?
Well, even when I'm not home, Hazel is with her grandparents next door. She's loved and cared for every waking hour. Besides, Gig Harbor hardly has the wrong crowd for her to fall into.
Oh, I know it's not easy to build a family alone. Do your friends support you? Is anyone helping you when it's just too much?
Not really. But I'm at peace with this now. Even if we're not hanging out as much, they can come over, bring a pizza, watch Freezing with Hazel and me. Who needs friends when you can have a nice nap?
Well, we have to move on to our next caller, but I must say you're very brave, and I wish you the very best with Hazel. I can't imagine how you do it. Thanks for finding the time to call in.
Best of luck with all of this, Molly. And now on to our next...
Hello, Phineas. Nicole, how are you doing on this blessed day?
Hello, Gabriel. Great to hear from you again.
Oh, listeners, we have with us the General Notary of King County, Gabriel. I think I missed you last time you visited us at the studio.
That's right. I'm so sorry to have heard. Must have been a pretty big call to keep you out just as long as I was here.
Yeah, see, my husband is...
That's fascinating. However, I have a message for your listeners in case they haven't heard yet.
Oh, a message? Let's hear it.
In case you're out on the street later, what with the excitement of baptism and free speech and whatnot, a curfew has been approved by the Grand Inquisitive Council for 8 o'clock tonight.
But I thought, Chaplain, isn't the ceremony still going on?
If you have your papers, you'll be just fine. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Wouldn't you say, friends?
Well, my mother used to tell me much the same thing.
Did your mother have much to hide, Chaplain?
No, not in the least.
As nice as it has been to catch up, I don't want to take too much of your time. Just need to remind everyone to keep your papers on you if you plan to be out late. Stay vigilant out there, Chaplain. Nicole, watch your step.
Well, sister.
Chaplain, I have to say, this was something. But naturally, it was a pleasure talking to you, listeners. Maybe we should do this more often.
We'll see what the future has in store for us free-thinking friends. In the meantime, devout freethinkers, we're going to end today's show on a sermon. Something I think has been on our minds today, and I'd like to invite you into our studio as a welcome guest.
It's been a calm day here in the studio, listeners. And it's quiet here. The building is empty.
Sister, would you count down from 10 for us all?
10.
Breathe in and let yourself get comfortable in your seat.
9.
Breathe out, letting your eyes drift close.
8.
Breathe in, focusing on the sound of my voice.
7.
Breathe out, letting the air carry your tension away.
6.
Breathe in, your lungs filled with air blessed by Our Lady.
5.
Breathe out, relieve yourself of the negativity in your mind.
4.
Breathe in, allowing the orator inside your heart.
3.
Breathe out and feel her words deeper in yourself.
2.
Breathe in, falling into the comforting embrace of the orator. Breathe out and drop into our story, devout freethinker. Freethinkers, the tale I crafted for you today is one set when the warmth and light of Our Lady had only just begun to grace the free nation you know today. Though this history is written in the core of your heart, devout freethinkers, I must repeat it to bring to light a new layer of understanding. However, the subject we bring into the spotlight is not the prime orator, but rather the birth of her first incarnation and of the ritual we observe this very day. This is the reason we cannot take these changes lightly. Today, we remember the second orator. Once known as Elizabeth Timothy, she was a trusting and loyal acolyte to Our Lady, even in her life before the Enlightenment. Through many hardships, she stood with the orator, allowing her spirit to remember her destiny, even with the deep loss of her husband to a viciously directed attempt at her mistress's life. Though she had plans for a bright future, she welcomed the oratorial spirit to illuminate her entirety. After 3 days, an intense ritual, she was Miss Timothy no longer. The orator emerged with an incandescent inevitability as the glorious protector of our lands. Freethinkers, this seared her name into the very foundations of freedom as synonymous with the phoenix. There were stirrings of dissent in the darkness, despite the glowing prospect of having her radiance continue on into the future. Misled citizens, with minds clouded by dark intent, threw Our Lady's rightful legitimacy into shadows. Yet, instead of closing the door on the coming night, she welcomed them into her heart, hearth, and home. She stood as a lighthouse, keeping safe all from the treacherous rocks in the darkness. In each whose kindle her love would alight, she would give a divine sanction made real upon the flesh. This eternally exalted them with the god's protection and her vigilant attention. The orator's blessing was forged, and since then we carry on the flame of our divine mother's love. Freethinkers, I impress upon you that these gifts are the expression of the orator's love. Whenever you place your hands over your heart, she looks in and does not judge, but rather banishes any darkness that might try to eclipse her brilliance. These are the traditions that we are blessed with. They keep us safeguarded and, in return, devout friends. Our guiding mother only asks us to respect them. Take care when navigating the murky unknown of the future. Since the dawn of our nation, she has kept our candle from going out, time and time again.
Open your eyes,
Freethinkers,
and hear out the words we have for you.
Welcome back to yourselves. Did you like their tale? Was it, oh, damn it, what does he say? The wings of freedom, life's Secretary Bird. Oh, look at me. Leather jacket, home calling the rebel enforcement. This is a dire situation.
Shrike, put the microphone down.
And you?
God damn it. Alright. Sorry, Red. I'll be right back.
Oh, no worries. I'll just sit right. Oh, God.
Both of you, would you just sit down and stop moving? You're ruining
The mood, the moment, the air of mystery.
the professional setting. It's come to my attention that the blessing itself may not be the thing we need. What we need is a symbol, something more free.
Oh, no.
The wings of freedom, the new blessing, a mark that should...
Were you listening?
Maybe you should.
No. The marks themselves are bad. No more. No baby cutting slicey up. You just don't cut babies unless you're gonna eat the firstborn child. You know, like in all those other fairy tales. No more cutting up babies and drawing up weird designs. If you want shit like that, just get a tattoo. It's that simple. Not for your baby, though. I mean, when you're allowed to get a tattoo, you know? Like, common sense. Like, sure, some babies right out the womb, they can get their ears pierced. That's fine. I'm pretty sure I was one of them. But, like, no. With the markings like that. And shoving ash into them, especially, what the hell?
You alright there, Shrike? You good?
Yeah, thanks.
Alright then, Shrike, are clothes a sign of slavery? Should we go running the Orator dong first?
Yes! But, no. That's just taking the argument too far. You don't cut your clothes into your babies. You can choose to be nude until you get arrested, but these marks are forever.
If you get arrested for it, it's not a choice you're allowed to make.
But it's not a choice a baby can make, Secretary Bird.
Well then, do you have any brilliant suggestions?
Look, I'm not saying we should change everything and that everything is bad, but think about it. These marks you call blessings are the exact symptoms you're fighting against.
ARB, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I don't think. Maybe you should ask the rooks.
Oh shit. Should we suggest this at Parliament?
We? You mean me? I'm the one who has to deal with their spooky, wrinkly old asses.
You're the best, Sekiwaki.
Shrike, if I ever hear you call me that again.
Thank you, listeners, for joining us on that sermon. I hope you can take away a little of what you heard today, and hopefully it gives you something to think about.
It was an absolute pleasure to be here today. Thank you for being with us, listeners. As always, I'm Nicole Venaire.
And I'm Chaplain Hart. Sweet dreams and pleasant nightmares.